the results we find in our cultural survey. But we are good too. And so this presentation will be divided into in the sequence of our survey. So we will follow the 4 questions that we designed in our survey list. So first is some brief introduction of the questions that we have designed. We have designed 22 questions, but because we have many sub-questions in the main questions, so there will be more than 24 questions in total. And they can be categorized in 4 parts, which are cuisine, transportation, life, and education. And you may find that we did not distribute evenly these questions in our survey, and it's because we want to focus in-depth questions that are in more important topics, especially in the part of life and education. So these just give you a quick glance of all our interviewees. Okay, so as for our interviews, we have interviewed 15 students in total, and they came from 3 different continents: Asia, America, and Europe. And from this map, you can see clearly that most of the international students are from Asia, and not surprisingly. But what's surprising is that we also have many students who come from America, and even some small countries that we're not familiar with in our real life. So that's quite interesting. And next steps will come our teammates to show what we have discovered.
Okay, so here's the first part, cuisine. Okay, as you can see, our question is, what is the specialty of your country's cuisine? And like, there's an example, like in Malaysia, their specialty is this one. This is nasi lemak. I don't know how to say that, but it is like the spicy sauce with rice and served in small Malaysian biscuits. And it is a common dish in their country, and it's most spicy compared with Taiwanese cuisine in their country. And also Poland. In Poland, their specialty is baka. Yeah, because I don't know, maybe they sell it created. And this is Thailand, and their specialty is Thai式龟条. Yeah, I don't know how to say it in English. It's just a kind of noodle, and it's yummy. And then it's Indonesia. It is zurek, and it is a like white lo song tang, something like that. Yeah, it's their specialty. And so like this, Christian oh, this is our second question. Can you share some famous local drinks in their country? So like in Thailand, it's Christian Senum. It is one like Thai 式菊花茶. Yes, in Thailand. And this is whatever. This is wine, and it's in Argentina's famous local drinks, and vodka I just mentioned, and it is pumpkin soup and fruit campaign, and it is Haidi's specialty. And this is, did I put that? Yes, okay, next one. And this is our third question. How do you like the tea shops here in Taiwan? We asked them about, yes, like because our famous food is like bubble tea or something like that. So these are statistics, and most of them drinks. All of our 13 interviewees like bubble tea, all of them, and most of them drink it once a week, and some never, some twice a week, and some just every day. Yeah. And is our fourth question. Are there any Taiwan beverage stores in their country? So, to my surprise, is that like this is Gong Fu Cha, and in Malaysia, in Haiti, in San Francisco, they all have it. Like Yifang in America, in San Francisco, and this is Xing Fu Tang, yes, and in Thailand and Indonesia, and Lao Hu Tang, Indonesia, Japan, yes, okay, interesting. And that is the fifth question. Would you like to share your favorite, the favorite and least favorite Taiwanese food? So one of them said that the best they like is beef noodles, and the worst is stinky tofu. And this one, the worst, stinky tofu. And this one, the worst, pig flock cake. Did I say flock cake? But it's okay. And so they like beef noodles. They like douhua. They like stinky tofu. But some of them hate stinky tofu, and some of them like stinky tofu. But most of them hate it. And some fried rice, someone hate fried rice. I don't know why. So yeah, it is a brief introduction about cuisine.
So the second part of our questionnaire is about transportation. So this is the first question is, what is the most popular form of transportation in your country? So in our survey, about 50% of the interviewee use cars, and others are 50% for motorcycle, for bus, for subway. And the interesting is that for cars, it's mainly from the America and Turkey. And the American ones say that because of their poor public transportation system, their messy conditions, and their land is too broad, so it is really hard for them to use public transportation. So the second question, we have a lot of scooters in cities in Taiwan. Are scooters easy to find in your country? And so the yes and no is for 50% and 50%. And the example is like the interviewee from Haiti say it is familiar with her because in her country there are a lot of motorcycles. And Thailand is a lot more, and the Macau and Malaysia is for similar thing. And for the no one is, they say that it is not as much as Taiwan. And interesting is that one of the Malaysia say that it's a similar thing, but another one say it is not as many as Taiwan. And because of Turkey's geographical location, it is not easy for them to use motorcycles. The third question, have you ever taken public transportation in your country? If so, how often do you do so? And I need to apologize for this because William had said that we should answer this question, but we forgot to do it. But actually, I find some interesting is that about 28% of people say that they didn't use the public transportation in their country. They prefer to use their own private car or motorcycles. And for the one who use the public transportation, the one in Turkey said that she often uses both. I think that is really, really cool. Yeah. Can passengers eat while taking public transportation in your country? So about 90% of people say yes, and the no stand for 7.2%. And a lot of people say that even though it is forbidden, people disobey the rules, like in America, in Argentina, in Thailand, and Indonesia. So what is your first impression when you see a lot of Taiwanese riding scooters? The one from Argentina say it take a heavy toll on environment, and the one say it was like army, scary, I need to pay attention not to be hit. And the one say, oh, I want to take the picture, it's so lovely. And the one say, I'm just familiar with this thing. So I think that's the cultural differences, yeah. So what kind of transportation when will you choose if you commute for a short distance in your home country? So they have a walk, car, motorcycle, and subway. And the interesting about it is the one from Turkey. She said that because Taiwan is really small, so she can walk everywhere. Within 1 hour, she can walk. And I think, yeah, it's really cool. So she often go uphill and downhill by walking, yeah. So yeah.
Next part of our survey is about living habit. The first question is how people spend time in your country. Most inquiries say it depends on people themselves. And when you're going to join a party, like friends party, you can, it's okay for you to be a little bit late. But when you're going to meeting, you should be on time or be earlier. And a large number of people say it's very important to be on time, especially people in Poland. The next question is, Do people in your country have a habit of queuing? There are 57.1% say no, because queuing wastes a lot of time, or they just don't like to wait. And the 43% say yes, and their motivation is about they have to wait for the transportation and the service, or something they desire to have, or some delicious food and drinks. Next question is, have you encountered some stereotypes about your country in Taiwan? There are 47.1% say yes. For example, foreigners seem to be stronger than Taiwanese, and some Americans are rude and noisy. And when we are living in America, it seems dangerous for us because we may encounter some terrorists. And some students from Indonesia say they will be recognized as migrant workers, and Taiwanese may discriminate against them. And there are 43% say no, because people here are friendly, or they just don't know about their country. The next question is, what is the best and the worst experience while living in Taiwan? Best experience, for example, people here are friendly and hospitable, and Taiwan is a safe country, and we have a lot of fun, and some students living in tropic states, we have winter. And the worst experience is like some college in Taiwan have a bad door, and we have a fluctuating weather and bad traffic conditions, and we have a lot of strange animals on the street. And the next question, the last question, is about what is considered most respectful and disrespectful behavior in your country. I take people living in Southeast Asia, for example. They say when people help the elderly and they respect their parents and other cultures, they will be very respectful. And the disrespectful is when people gossip behind others' back, or eat something in front of some Muslim when they can't eat anything due to their religion. Or some people say a sentence end with ka or ka in Thailand. They will be very disrespectful. Yes?
The next part is education. In this part, we have 6 questions. The question 1 is, do your countries provide financial assistance for students to attend college? We can see that most of the countries will provide. And in the Indonesia, they provide their senior and junior school students, but only for the poor people. And we can see the Poland's public school provide the whole tuition fee. So in Poland, you study in public school is free. And in Turkey, they have public school and private school, but the public school, they have the more high standard to get the admission. So if you're in Turkey, but you're not smart, but you want to study in college, they will choose to study private college, but they need to pay the whole tuition. The question 2 is, why do you want to study or exchange in Taiwan? We can see the largest portion is the scholarship and tuition fees. So some colleges in Taiwan provide the scholarship for them, and we have maybe lower tuition fee compared with in their country. So the money is the important reason. The third question is, are there any special courses in your country which you haven't seen in Taiwan? We can see the Macau, they have travel class. The travel class is to teach you the other country's culture. And the Haiti speaking class is like you teach you how to express yourself and or more brave to talk. The fourth is, in terms of the education system, what is the biggest difference? In Asia people are more shy, or just in Taiwan, Americans says that students in Taiwan is more shy and afraid to raise their hands to ask some question, or even when teacher is asking questions, they know the answer, but they are afraid to talk. They just know, but they didn't say anything. But in the other country, just the other, not the Asia, they open and they are brave to talk about what they think, even it is wrong. The fifth is, while students in your country will go to a Korean school, we can see the yes is the Asia and the no is some others. But in the Indonesia is their Korean school. The student said he think the Korean school in Indonesia is set for the Chinese. He said that it is a dog culture. They go to a Korean school. It's not because they didn't know the course, because they want to get a high grade. The next one is, what are the benefits for you? Want to stay in Taiwan because they want to experience different culture, or our degree is more valuable than in their country, so they want to get a good job in Taiwan.
Okay, so though this, the last part is our reflection. Though this group project demands a lot of time and effort, we find that the more interesting and provocative answers we find in our surveys, we get more curious about interviewees and even ask some questions that are not in our list. And so I believe there are things that we can relate to, and others are the different facts that we learn from our interviewees. So we can keep this in our mind, and so later in the future we can notice those cultural differences acutely. Yeah. So thanks for listening. Any questions?
Good. So can we start with any questions or comments? So I'm sorry. So can we return to one of the slides? So I think it was an earlier slide. Anyway, the slides covered by Austin. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So could you go down to the next one? Yeah, the next one. The next one. Yeah, this one here. So I'm just curious. You said all the interviewees they like bubble tea, but then some said they've never drank bubble tea.
No, all of them like the tea shops here. They said, "Oh yes, I like it." And I asked them, "How often do they drink bubble tea?" Never. Maybe they drink some other tea, but not bubble tea.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just curious. Okay. All right. So, any others? So, how about the first team? Any questions, comments from the first team? Yes, Kari or Peter?
Just a little question about. I noticed that you put San Francisco and America as equal in the slides, and I'm wondering why.
Your question is great. That is a small mistake because all of the others are 2, 2, 2, and put America and San Francisco. It looks like 2. It looks like 2 countries.
Okay.
But it's okay. Ifong is everywhere. You can see it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's a good question. So, yeah, you may just want to be careful when you
Sorry.
you give the countries' names. Right. Yeah. Did your interviewees mention? Did the beverages they order in those shops in their home countries, do they taste slightly different from the drinks here in Taiwan? Or they're totally the same?
They didn't mention that, but they did mention that, like some of them, I forgot what country, but some of them, they can't decide to add sugar or not, or because we can choose like even some 1%, 10%, 30%, 50% sugar, but some of them said that in their country they can't decide.
Oh, really?
And I can add on that. I remember a girl from Thailand. She said that she likes about this kind of choice that we offer in our tea shops, because back in Thailand you know, that they can adjust their sugar or the level of ice. But in Taiwan, she likes to add pudding or every time she adds pudding or ice cream in her milk tea. So she's like, she wants to drink sweeter, but the highest level is only like full sugar, and she cannot add more. So the alternative choice is to add pudding or ice cream. Yeah, those sweeties. Yeah.
So in the shops in Thailand, did not offer that kind of edition? No?
Yeah, I think I remember that's what she told us.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, good.
Maybe you can suggest her to go down south to Tainan. It brings a sweeter snack.
Yeah, maybe she'll be a great inhabitant to live in Thailand. Yeah,
Good.
great choice.
Very good. So any other questions, comments, or anything you'd like to add on to the topic? Yes, maybe one more question or comment? So maybe I have just another question about the interviews, right? Again, so during your interviews, do you find interviewees from any particular country or region more friendly than others?
Well, I find that actually some students from Asia could be quite talkative, like Thailand or Indonesia. They're quite friendly, but I suppose it's because they study in ICIs where they can express their opinion more freely, and there are many students who study in their home country were in the system of international schools, and so I suppose that's also a reason why they acted differently compared to most of the Asian students. But as for the students outside of Asia, I think in general they're friendly, and so yeah.
Good.
Like in the vacation, I interviewed the one from Turkey, and I apologize for her because she needed to spend 1 hour to be interviewed. But she actually said that it's hard for her to make friends with Taiwanese people. So she thinks that this survey is really good, and she's enjoyed the chatting process. So I think everyone from a lot of countries are really willing to chat with us. Yeah, yeah.
So do those international students, are they making friends with the Taiwanese students here?
Some of them, but like the interviewees I found were doing a like meeting, not meeting, like an occasion that hosted by our 书院. Yeah. So it is in that event you can see a lot of international students grouping together. So I think still they find comfort in making friends from their own country. Yeah.
And many of them didn't join some clubs or something because, like one of them said that her Chinese is not good, so she's afraid of making friends with Taiwanese.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's also language is like a barrier for us to make friends with international students. But we think that this survey really gives us an opportunity to know more about it. And I will occasionally wave with some interviewees that we have met before. So yeah, it was really a great experience.
That's good. Yeah. Also, hopefully you'll start making some international friends. Yeah, very good. So, in others? Okay. So then, thank you very much.